Gentlemen, WWE Summerslam. Whew, what a gambit of emotions. I'm about to get into all of it. WWE Summerslam, I'm about to get into all of it. Look, for the sake of time, I'm not going to do the pre-show. I'm not going to talk about the pre-show, but I'm about to talk about all of the main show. It was a gambit of emotions for SummerSlam. They would have entitled SummerSlam WWE Summerslam with emotions boil over. That would have been correct, because plenty of emotions boiled over tonight, and we're gonna, last night, excuse me. So we're gonna hop right into the first match. Dean Ambrose versus, what am I thinking? Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship with Dean Ambrose at ringside. This was a slow match to start, and I gotta admit, it kind of caught me by surprise. We're sitting there, we're all juiced up, SummerSlam starts, and two of the fastest workers in the WWE, at least on the Raw rosters, Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, have a very slow start, but the match picked up really well. That reverse suplex off the top rope, followed by another reverse suplex, was just insane. I don't think I've ever seen that spot. Close to 30 years of watching wrestling, close to 31 years of watching wrestling, I've never seen that spot in wrestling before. I've seen Seth Rollins do the suplex and then a double suplex after that, but not a reverse suplex. That was a phenomenal spot. The match would end with Seth Rollins picking up the win, getting the title. I thought that was the correct call, because from here, I don't think either guy has a spot to where they can go other than to face off against each other in the future. So this feud has to continue, and the only way that it could continue is if Seth Rollins won it. So I think the right call there was to give Seth Rollins the title and make the right call. We didn't get the Dean Ambrose heel turn. I said that they wouldn't go through with it because now it's not the time the fans want to cheer the guy. I think we need to milk this out a little bit more. Maybe Ambrose faces off with McIntyre. We might see that at Hell in a Cell. Who knows? We'll see from here. So moving on, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line. We had the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day, and this is another match that started off pretty slow, and it picked up really well. This is another one that picked up really well, but we had the Xavier Woods dive off the top rope to the outside, crazy elbow spot to the outside, and the match was picking up really well until it ended in a DQ. I said that this was the night of gambit of emotions, and this was also the night of weird finishes. Like DQ finishes at a big pay-per-view, I just do not like that at like a WrestleMania, at a SummerSlam, at a Royal Rumble. I don't like DQ finishes there. So we got that DQ finish, and it was really a letdown because the match was starting to pick up, and it was like, it's over. So the Bludgeon Brothers retain the titles. New Day get the victory, and I guess this feud continues. I thought they didn't have anywhere else to go with the SmackDown Tag titles outside of maybe the New Day and the Bar. They could go back and forth, but it's looking like we're going to get this rematch again, and hopefully we get a clean finish the next time these guys face off. Looking at the next match, Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. I mean, this was just, I don't want to call it crap, but it basically was, because you got Kevin Owens, has the KO in the Bank shirt, and at some point, I just want to see something positive happen with Kevin Owens. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, because we had a squash match here, a glorified squash match. And at the end of the day, Kevin Owens is much more deserving of something more than a squash match against Braun Strowman. But it is what it is. We had a squash match. I did enjoy it. Braun moved on. I was ready to see Braun cash in and get the victory, but you know how that went. I'm going to get to that, Roman Reigns. We're going to get into that, so stay tuned. We're going to get there. But the next match, triple threat for the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Carmella. This match was decent at best. I wasn't feeling it in the beginning where Charlotte and Becky Lynch were arguing over somebody who pulled each other's hair, and I'm like, man, it's a title on the line. Why are you worried about if your hair got pulled? Just start knocking people out. Eventually they got to that, and I figured that we were on the way to a Becky Lynch title win, but it was really disappointing. You heard the crowd every time Becky Lynch locked in the disarmor. It's like the crowd would lose it, because they really wanted Becky Lynch to win that match. And it was kind of a disappointing finish when Charlotte got in, hit the natural selection for the win. And I was like, man, Charlotte just comes in, waltzes her way into the title match. Unannounced, she just waltzes in on SmackDown, gets the title match, and she gets the win. And like, I think that's no way to treat the championship, because you don't want to have somebody waltzing in, getting the title shot, and just winning like that. However, after the match, I'm looking at the match and the post-match, and I'm like, bruh, if Becky Lynch doesn't drag Charlotte here, I'm going to be severely disappointed. Even the fans were booing the hug moment, of the moment that they tried to have to set up the moment that we got, which was an awesome Becky Lynch heel turn, and I loved every bit of it. Becky Lynch drugged Charlotte, and it was, in my estimation, it was the greatest moment of the night. That's just my opinion. I loved every bit of Becky Lynch dragging Charlotte and beating her down. And then what capped it off is Becky Lynch walked down the aisle head held high. She just walked down head held high, not a worry in the world. That was just awesome. I hope they have her keep that attitude. I hope they don't do a Sasha Banks to where we had the heel turn there and then there was nothing from that heel turn coming there with Bayley, and then Bayley just went back to who she was. And it's like, I hope they do something more with Becky Lynch. We'll see from here on in. We'll probably get that match at Evolution. So we'll see. So moving on, we had the WWE Championship match. This match came so early, and it was like towards the end of the first hour, end of the second hour, I would say, and I was like, okay, why is this match coming this early? But I guess they wanted to get it away from the WWE title match. We had Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. The pre-match where Samoa Joe is just getting into AJ Styles' head was just hilarious. AJ Styles grabs the mic back, says he's gonna beat down Samoa Joe, and we were at it. And I loved every bit of that. I loved how they made it personal. This was just a phenomenal match. I said in my preview that I really hope that they gave AJ Styles and Samoa Joe time. And I'm not gonna forget that the fact that the fans started chanting TNA, TNA, TNA. That was really funny, by the way. Job well done, Brooklyn. But we had a phenomenal match here. They gave them time, and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe did right what I knew that they would do, and they tore down the house. I knew that they would tear down the house, and it was so well done. And we got to the end of the match. Samoa Joe grabs the mic on top of the announce table, tells Wendy that he would be her daddy, and the crowd just popped for that. And like I said, a gambit of emotions on SummerSlam last night. AJ Styles does a full sprint and a spear off of the table of Samoa Joe. I about lost it when I seen AJ Styles spear Samoa Joe off of that table. And he's just taking out guys left and right. And the guy that got taken out by Johnny Gargano in the NXT TakeOver, he was there. That was the guy that AJ Styles took out. So that guy had a rough weekend, quote unquote. So, I mean, I was loving every bit of it. But like I said, the night of weird finishes, they ended it in a DQ finish. And I really think that the story should have been that AJ Styles lost control so much that he took his eyes off the prize, and Samoa Joe took control and won the title that way. So, I mean, it was a phenomenal match. I did not like the ending, but the feud moves on. We're going to get another phenomenal match at Hell in a Cell more than likely, and maybe that's the time when Samoa Joe has his moment. So, moving on to the next match, we had Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, and like, I'm looking at this is another one. I was like, man, this is early into the show, but they pulled this card. They put the card out. They didn't want any of the main matches getting anywhere near the main event. That's the way I saw it. But this match, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, I thought it was a phenomenal match. Gambit of emotions. When Daniel Bryan was slapping The Miz, I was like, goodness, this match is getting so personal and physical that I love it. I love every bit of it. And it was phenomenally done. And I loved every bit of it. It was phenomenally done. It got into the end of the match. Both guys have phenomenal chemistry. When they did the surfboards back to back, that was a well-told story. They did the yes kicks, and they did the Miz did the it kicks, and the crowd went no, no, no. That was a phenomenally told story that got the crowd involved really well. So everything was A+ all the way until the end, to where Miz grabbed something from Maurice, and we had the unclean finish. He hits Daniel Bryan over the head, rolls him into the ring, and gets the 3 count. And I really thought that was another match. Great match, but a flat finish. It's like reading a great book and then getting to the finish, and it was like, oh man, that was a flat finish, man. And that's what it was for Daniel Bryan and The Miz. It was a flat finish. So I'm very happy that The Miz won. Don't get me wrong, because I predicted that The Miz should win and that Daniel Bryan should finally overcome The Miz at WrestleMania. That would be great. But I would have rather a better finish with that as well. But the match was just phenomenal. From an in-ring standpoint and from a storytelling standpoint, the match was phenomenal. So moving on here to the next match, we had Finn Balor versus Constable Corbin. And I gotta tell you, when the Demon Finn Balor came back, I was so excited. But at the same time, it was a confliction of emotions because I was excited to see that guy back. I was excited to see that character back. But it's against Baron Corbin. Like, I had the opinion that it would have been awesome if Finn Balor and Kevin Owens had a phenomenal match and Braun Strowman squashed Baron Corbin. That would have been phenomenal if Finn Balor brought the Demon character back for a Kevin Owens match. But we got the Demon character back. The crowd went nuts. They went crazy. One of the bigger reactions of the night. We had the squash match with Finn Balor. He got the win over Constable Corbin. I mean, the match was what it was. I didn't care anything about it. But Finn Balor coming back in that Demon outfit, it was just phenomenally done. And from here on in, they need to do something with this momentum. The crowd loves the guy clearly, but you have to take him serious. You can't have him in nothing feuds with Constable Corbin. So moving forward, I'm very interested to see what they do with Finn Balor. But I like the fact that they brought the Demon character back for this pay-per-view. So moving on, we had Shinsuke Nakamura and Jeff Hardy facing off. This was a match in a weird part of the show. It was towards the latter hour, and you know, the fans were kind of cooled down for this match. And I really think that the match was decent enough. It was just at a dead part of the show. That's why it probably came off. It's not as important as it did. The match was decent enough. I really enjoyed it. Jeff Hardy in these spots, he did a swanton on the ring apron. You know, the hardest part of the ring. You know how they always point that out when a spot happens on the ring apron. That's the hardest part of the ring. Like, I haven't heard that 100 times already. But he did that spot. I thought the match was well done. And I thought the right person won. I know I picked Jeff Hardy to win because I thought that if they were going to go forward with this Randy Orton storyline, they need to have Jeff Hardy win the title. But I'm happy that Shinsuke Nakamura won the title because, look, he needs something, man. They screwed him over when they didn't put the world title on him, so at least they let him keep the U.S. title here. Randy Orton did the fake out. He came out and then he went back. So we'll see. I guess that continues on. Moving on, also, we had the Elias concert as well. And it wasn't much of a concert because the dude broke the guitar, and not in the Jeff Jarrett way. I mean, he just pulled the guitar right off each other, half off, and there was no concert there. I really think that was obviously a storyline that was obviously fake and not real. They had some people going on Twitter. It was like, man, I wonder if that was real or not. No, it wasn't real. But I wish they would have just let Elias play his album and get out of there. I would have rather that instead. But the moment was funny at the least, so I dug it. That was another gambit of emotions. Elias lost it, and he lost his mind. He got ticked off. So a gambit of emotions in this show. So moving on, we had the women's title match, Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. And in my preview, I thought that they should have made this a squash match. I said, get it over with quick. Let Ronda Rousey dominate. So I'm not against the match going short, but one thing I did not like was Ronda Rousey made Alexa Bliss like a complete fool, a complete idiot, if you shall say. Because you can't have Ronda Rousey just sitting down in the ring and just turning her back to Alexa Bliss. And then once Alexa Bliss gets into the ring, she locks in a chokehold, which is no sold by Ronda Rousey. And I mean, I gotta admit, I didn't like that. I wanted Ronda Rousey to dominate. That's all fine and well, but I didn't like the fact that they made Alexa Bliss look like a fool. In the end, Ronda Rousey's your champion. We all saw that coming. And I gotta say, it's quite interesting because Ronda Rousey is not the safest worker. She's been having some problems in the ring to where she doesn't take care of the wrestlers. So it's interesting. She's the champ now. The excuses go out of the window for me because she is our women's champion. And she has to be more safe. We'll see how it goes from here. She's off to a really great start, and we'll see how it goes. Also, let it not be forgotten, like I said, the gambit of emotions at SummerSlam last night. Natalya coming out to her dad's gear. That was, that was a moment for me because I grew up in the 90s. Those are my guys. And to see Natalya come out on that SummerSlam stage in her dad's gear, that one got me. That one got me. That was an incredible moment, and I was happy to see her at SummerSlam last night. So moving on to the main event, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I gotta say, the anticipation of this match, and anticipation of me thinking about what's gonna happen here. What are they gonna do? It was killing me last night. I was ready for the match to start. So we got there, got the introductions, and Braun comes right out. And right then and there, I'm like, okay, let's get this on. Triple threat match. And to my shock and my surprise, Braun says that he's gonna stand at ringside and not make it a triple threat match. I thought that was just, man, that was just shocking. It put a shock move that I didn't see coming. So we got to the match and we were getting Superman punches after Superman punches, and then we get a spear. And I really thought that they made Roman look weak in this match, for lack of a better term. I thought that they should have made Roman look strong in this match if he was gonna win. He hit all those Superman punches and those spears, and it didn't work out. And we had Brock take control of the match, and that's when the match got slow, and the fans started chanting, "You both suck." And the match started to get slow, and that's when the fans started to come in and crap on the match. So eventually we had Brock go to the outside, and Braun is just standing on the outside. He looks like a complete goof, just standing there. And eventually Brock takes advantage of him and beats him down. So Braun is out. It's quote unquote out. Brock gets back into the ring, and Roman looks up into the win. If you're gonna have Roman Reigns win and beat Brock Lesnar, have him beat him down. Like, at the least, if they was going to do all of that, they might as well have ended the match in a squash after Roman hit all of those Superman punches and all of those spears. Might as well just end it right there. Really have Roman put the stamp on Roman, and if you're going to go with him, don't let him luck into an ending. But, it is what it is, but I have an interesting theory. A very interesting theory. One, it made Braun look like a goof that he was just standing there while Roman just celebrated. Oh wait, Braun can't get up after all of that celebration that Roman Reigns has going on. But here's the deal. WWE has backed themselves into a corner to where they have to put the title on Braun Strowman, and soon. From here on in, Braun Strowman has to cash in that briefcase. Because you can't go into SummerSlam and say, I'm ready to cash in my briefcase now, and then come back on Raw and not go through with it. I'm talking like tonight. Braun Strowman has to cash in that briefcase tonight if Roman Reigns is coming out there. One would think. So eventually, if you look at the situation, Braun Strowman doesn't have a feud to go to outside of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't have a feud to go to outside of Braun Strowman. They cannot have an extended feud unless Braun cashes in the briefcase. And I do not think, for the Roman fans out there, I'm just here to tell y'all, I do not think that WWE is stupid enough to have Braun cash in and lose the cash in, go into an extended feud, and then lose the feud to Roman Reigns. So eventually, Braun Strowman is about to be the champion, and soon and in order. I'm just here to tell you that Braun Strowman is about to win this title. So at this point, I don't have anything against Roman Reigns. He's a fighting champion. At least we got the belt back on Raw. I'm happy with that. But the storyline dictates that Braun Strowman has to win the title here, or unless, what is Braun for? Being around here for? You got to put the title on the guy. So we'll see how it all plays out. I cannot wait for Monday Night Raw tonight to see if Braun will cash in. I think he will, either tonight on Monday Night Raw or very soon. He's going to cash in that briefcase and win that title. So we'll see how it all plays out. Thank you guys for coming in. Do I write? I used to write, but I tell you what, I'm on YouTube right now. You can find me at OMG Corey B. Just type in on the space bar at YouTube, OMG space Corey space B. I'm there. Also, you can find me on Twitter as well at 2SweetPod. That's the number 2 SweetPod. And on Twitter at OMG Corey B. I'm on there every Monday night wrestling. And I follow back all wrestling fans. Every Tuesday night, SmackDown Wrestling. Wednesday, NXT. Thursday, Impact. Wrestling. So if you want to follow a wrestling fan and converse with me, I'll follow you back. I'll converse with you. Just hit me up on Twitter at OMGCoreyB and at 2SweetPod. I might get back into my writing days. I used to write before wrestling columns. Well, I might get back into that in the future. But hit me up on Twitter. I'm going to be on there all day today talking about SummerSlam and getting ready for Monday Night Raw tonight. So hit me up on there if you want to talk about wrestling. If you have anything on SummerSlam, I'll react to it. Comments, whatever you got, hit me up.